Hello from Bug Eye Guys. This is a 1966 MGBGT that we're standing underneath today, and I want to give you a quick tour of some of the nice features of this car, and I'll point out anything that needs attention. So most importantly on these cars, if you're familiar, these railings out on the outboard end called the castle rails tend to rust a lot. And in this case, you have really nice, you're not seeing any rust in any of these supporting members. This cross member here, you can see maybe there's some little spots where the car's been jacked up and the undercoating from the factory has been moved away, but it's really solid. The jacking supports are solid out here. This car had rocker panel rust. It's been repaired and they've been replaced, but the floors and the underside structure are really clean, and that's something that you really appreciate on these cars because they all rusted. So we don't see that here, and that's a really nice sign. This whole floor section here is nice. That's aft of the jacking point on this side. There's just a little bit of surface rust there, right there. You can see it in about the center of your screen, but that's not something that I would worry about. And then also all along here, some of the undercoating has broken away on that seam, but it's solid. And again, it could be cleaned up and coated again, but it's really in nice shape where you need it to be strong. And that's one of the greatest values of this particular car, is that it's a very solid one. Up here, we did like a $20,000 job on this car, going through so many parts of the system. I think these are new coil springs, but those are certainly, I have to look at the build sheet. Those are certainly new brake hoses. The calipers are older. They're working fine. They're not binding, but that might be another opportunity to put in new calipers at some point down the road. It's not urgent. The brakes are excellent right now. And I can't remember if we changed the rotors. Probably not. But in any event, we also put in a new slave cylinder hose and slave cylinder. And I'm pretty sure these are new transmission mounts that we put in, because they're not all cracked. And the motor mounts are nice as well. Moving down, you see surface rust on the drive shaft, which is fine. A lot of times these cars came with two 6-volt batteries. So many times you'll see this battery structure all rusted away. In this case, it was changed to a single 12-volt, which is now on this side. You can see it's a 26R. Nice interstate battery, and this has a little bit of surface corrosion from battery acid, but it's structurally fine, and that's also really good to see, because sometimes you have to rebuild those battery boxes. There's a new brake hose, the rubber hose, and also a new brake line running across the axle that was corroded, so we built a new one and put that in. This has an Anza muffler or something similar, and has a really nice exhaust note. The exhaust sound is quite nice on this one. It has this stock resonator there in the center of your screen, and then this Anza twin tip muffler in the back, so it gives it a nice sports car sound. And this looks to be the original fuel tank. It's got some surface rust, but we didn't have any issues. The fuel filter wasn't clogged, and so we weren't too worried about that. And I think we changed these leaf springs. They have been changed by someone recently. Again, I have to check the build sheet to see. New wheel cylinders as well, and they're not leaking, which is nice. Some of this stuff doesn't take long before it starts to leak again.